I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably noticed. In a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. I'm very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the number 1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. What took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them, and not finance them. I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. But you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained. What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders, as we do now, and to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their countries and paid for by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country, and now they're being ruined.
I just want to talk about Donald Trump's speech at the UN, where he totally roasted every single one who was there, including the United Nations. Now, let's be clear. No one really takes Donald Trump seriously anymore. He has become the world's laughing stock. When he talks, people just laugh, right? No one really thinks that he is serious. The way he talks, the way he does things, people are like, we don't know if this is a leader we can all follow. But that aside, what he said, part of it was correct and part of it wasn't correct. When he said that the United Nations is useless, he was right. He was totally correct on that. The UN has become one useless body that, in my own opinion, doesn't really have any relevance. If, as far as I'm concerned, the whole thing could simply be abolished and all of us would be better off. When have you ever seen the United Nations ever putting their feet on the ground and doing something tangible for the world? When America wanted to invade Iraq, UN said, don't do it. They say, what you are saying is your own. We are going to do it nevertheless. And America went and invaded Iraq, destabilized the nation, and killed many Iraqis. What happened to America? Nothing. What happened to Bush? Nothing. Dick Cheney? Nothing. Condoleezza Rice? Nothing. All of them went scot-free. When NATO, under the pressure or under the leadership of America, wanted to invade Libya, what did the United Nations do? They did nothing. NATO came in, invaded Libya, destroyed the country, ruined everything, and the Libyans are now clutching their teeth. What did the UN do? Absolutely nothing. They did nothing. So what importance is of the United Nations? I really don't know. And sometimes I sympathize with my African leaders for going there because I think that this is just a waste of effort and taxpayers' money. Every year, African leaders go there and they preach and they sing and nothing really changed. Nothing. Everything just stayed the same. Nothing changed. The United Nations has not been beneficiary to Africa at all. So, believe me when I say this, in as much as I hate what Trump is doing, in this instant, he is totally correct. The UN is a waste of time. The UN is a useless body. The UN doesn't serve any purpose. None at all. They cannot even guarantee world peace, which is their main pillar. The whole purpose of the United Nations was to guarantee world peace, was to make sure that powerful nations do not intimidate or take over smaller nations. That was the main purpose of United Nations. But has it lived up to that? No, it hasn't. It hasn't guaranteed world peace. It hasn't protected the smaller nations, especially those in Africa.